Welcome back to the Charismatic Voice. I am with the incredible Jeff Hayes. Jeff, I can just call you Jeff, right? Not Jeffrey.
You can. Yeah, you can leave the whole incredible part off as well.
No, I wouldn't ever. I wouldn't ever. All y'all out there who are used to me interviewing musicians, singers on this channel, I asked Jeff to come in here because he is the voice I have listened to the most in the last year. It truly, hours and hours he's been in my ear in the middle of the night while rocking my child to sleep. So I have to say,
it's the nature of the medium,
right?
Just to be clear.
Just the nature. Yeah, I have to put that out there. I have heard Jeff's voice so much, and I think he has one of the most incredible voices I've ever heard. And this is purely because I've been listening to him narrate Dungeon Crawler Carl. Jeff, I heard that maybe you also knew a little bit about the Charismatic Voice before we connected. Did it surprise you when I released a video analyzing your voice?
Absolutely, 100%. Because I've seen you analyze some of my heroes, so
Ooh, like who?
Like Maynard. Maynard James Keenan. Number one, though, my number one vocal influence is Mike Patton.
Oh, really?
Yes, absolutely.
Dang.
Talk about range. I mean, I have range, but that dude,
dude
has range.
What's your favorite
power
song he's
from
done?
every bit. Oh man. Well, I'll say my favorite album is California by Mr. Bungle by him.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Mr. Bungle's a trip.
Mr. Bungle is an absolute trip. I would say he's an influence not just vocally, but compositionally.
Oh.
As a musician, he's his insanity has infected my mind to a great degree. And I California is to me a masterpiece. From start to finish. I'm all about eclecticism, about drawing influences from every culture possible. And the way that I think Mr. Bungle does it is hit or miss a lot of the time. There's a lot of experimentation, especially in those first two albums. But I think California is the perfect synthesis. Ooh. It's they learned all the lessons and they came up with the ultimate way to combine all these different genres.
That's a pretty awesome influence, I think. And obviously you do music too. So please, although many of us know you as a narrator, and seriously, the best narrator I've ever heard. We'll talk a lot more about that. But can you tell us about the music we see in the background?
Yeah, so right there's a Primus poster.
This camera thing is driving me not crazy. It's driving me in awe. It's amazing. Yeah, okay.
So that's a Primus poster my fiance got me. I got a nylon 6-string here. This is my favorite bass. This is a PV Cirrus from 2003, 2002. Ooh. I can't remember. But this is one of my earliest instruments and still my favorite. I wish I had my Carl Thompson up here. I'd show you that. I love music. Music is where I come from. I think that the majority of my 20s was obsession with music, and definitely the last half of my teens. Music was what I wanted to do for a long time, but I don't think I had the fundamental discipline to actually do it professionally. I went to the UMKC Conservatory for Music, and I got an academic scholarship and also an additional scholarship because I came in playing upright bass, and they needed more bassists in the orchestra. Mm-hmm. And I was a bass guitarist, so I was like, okay, let's try this thing. This is the closest thing to bass I can actually take a course on in this school, because they just did not touch electric bass. But I was very far behind when it comes to formal education, when it comes to music. I was in marching band, in elementary school and middle school. And then my high school didn't offer it, so I stopped.
What did you play in marching band?
Percussion.
Okay, you can't really play bass in marching band. That's a little difficult.
I mean, you could do it with an electric one.
If
Put
you
an
have
amp on your back.
Exactly.
There you go.
Oh my gosh, I want to see that now.
But yeah, so I mean, my formal training, like, and because it was percussion, I did not develop any sight reading skills. Right? I always avoided the marimba. Obviously, I started on the glockenspiel, right? That's what you always start on in grade school. But then when we got to middle school, I was like, we get to play drums? Cool, I'm going to do that. And so all I needed is rhythm.
Yep.
Right? That's I could sight read that, but anything else, nope.
What about voice, though? Did voice lessons ever play a part in here? Nothing.
No. I took, I think, a semester of singing lessons at UMKC. And I was only, like, to be clear, my first year in college was like general, like no music stuff whatsoever. And then my second year was music. But here's the deal. I was humiliated while I was there. Because everyone else was just so much more educated than I was, and I just couldn't keep up. When it came to that stuff, like playing in an orchestra, they needed me in the orchestra, but I was just airbowing the whole time. I didn't really bother like practicing or anything because I wasn't into the music. And then I still got an A, and I think that's what made me drop out. That's what made me drop out. I was like, I am a fraud. I am out of here. Like, I can't do this anymore.
Oh man.
So there's that. What I really loved was composition. That was what I was going for in my degree is composition. But I was like composing fusion band stuff, like the stuff that I wanted to play. And it's so much more steeped in rock than jazz, right? The stuff that I was making. So everyone there was like, oh, I'm either a jazz guy or a classical guy. So no one wanted to play with me. Right. So
yeah, you were in the wrong spot.
I was in the wrong spot. So I actually dropped out to start a band. I just worked for my folks who had rental property at the time. I was a janitor for them while I failed to develop a music career.
Perfect. Like, I believe in Journey Before Destination. I don't know if you're familiar with that series, but that is my thing. Also, I totally forgot this. This, I'm so excited. Everyone, I'm so excited.
The same thing
to interview Jeff. Are you doing the Jasmine?
Yes.
Did you go? I went for the Jasmine too. Okay, so this is the deal. And I know I'm in Tucson. It's ridiculously hot here, but I still was like, you know what? I'm gonna do the hot tea. But I thought
you wanted me to do iced tea because almost everything in the box was iced tea. I was like, I'm getting a vibe. I think
I was like, it's gotta be hot in Kansas, right?
Missouri, but yes.
Missouri,
City,
what?
Missouri, yeah.
Wait,
yeah, Kansas City, Missouri came first. Yes.
How dare Kansas take that name?
And then Kansas City, Missouri removed an extra tumor that resembled Kansas City in the face, right? And they placed it outside of the state of Missouri. And then that tumor that looks a lot like Kansas City and has the same name grew into an entire state.
Wow.
So now we have Kansas City, Kansas, and the state of Kansas.
Tumors are evil.
I know.
Also, I have a hair that I can't get. If there's a random, there it is. Okay, it's gone. Okay. It's done. It's over. But that being said, do you actually prefer tea over coffee? I promise to not be too offended.
No,
you like coffee?
I don't know that I prefer one over the other. It's just dependent on my mood. Tea is certainly better for voice work.
Oh. Okay, so talk to me about that. What do you drink on the 7th hour of an 8-hour day?
Well, it would be some kind of like herbally mix. Like I have this stuff called Nirvana Calm Down tea. That's what I would be drinking on the 7th hour.
Oh, I think I sent you some 40 winks, I think.
Yes, for sleeping.
I
relaxation.
like, that's one of my favorites actually for sleep. So that was a cool one. Yeah.
I'm going to try it. I do have trouble sleeping, so.
I think that one actually has valerian in it too.
Uh-oh.
So, whew, it's good. But since we're both professional voice users, I think it's very wise, and I like doing interviews with tea. And yeah, anyhow. Okay, so for those of you who don't know you as a narrator, right? We've got lots of people coming into the channel. You've watched it. Metal rock lovers. I think everyone was really surprised to see me say, "No, I'm gonna do some analysis on VO here. This guy is seriously the best narrator I've ever heard." And he's narrating Dungeon Crawler Carl. I'm wondering, Jeff, can you summarize, like, without giving any spoilers, what is Dungeon Crawler Carl for a person who's just getting to know you?
Dungeon Crawler Carl is a batshit insane fantasy series about a man and his ex-girlfriend's cat playing an apocalyptic alien reality show.
Wow. That was really well done. Have you given that summary before?
Nope. I have to rethink it every time because I can never remember. I can never remember what I come up with. But that one felt really good and succinct. I've been practicing at least on coming up with a good description on the fly. It is incredibly difficult to really describe, and I think one of the greatest triumphs of this series is that speed bump you have to get over before actually engaging with it. Why I say that is because I think there are a lot of book series out there that kind of check all the boxes for success and then get fast-tracked, but there's a lot of fundamentals that they're missing that makes it empty, like kind of empty calories type of read. I think that's very common, not just in novels, not just in literature, but in all art, all popular art. There's so much out there that is just empty calories.
I love that description. I totally agree.
But they're incredibly successful, right? Like they just out the gate, just people just eat it up.
I'm going to write this down right now because I want to use that in a video sometime soon.
Empty
That's such
calories?
a great description. Yeah, empty calories.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the thing about those types of things is they look amazing, right out the gate, right? People see it and they're like, ooh, I want. Dungeon Crawler Carl's the opposite. Like, especially before it really got picked up by the mainstream and traditional publishing and everything, I would see constantly in the forums and, r/DCC, people would say, dude, I passed this book up 5 or 6 times, seeing it in my recommended, looking at the stupid cover with a dude in his boxers, and of course it's got a stupid talking cat. It's called Dungeon Crawl. This is the dumbest thing. Obviously, I'm not going to try this. I saw that over and over and over again, and despite that, it's become this incredible, sensational hit. With, by the way, a rating, when you compare the rating to the number of ratings and then look at everything else on Audible, probably maybe the highest ratio of 5 stars. Like, people absolutely love this series, and it's striking a nerve with everyone. And it's not just on the surface, right?
Yes.
The nerve that it's striking, people only find once they've dug deep enough. And they go, oh, wait, this is not just a stupid good time. This is saying something important. This is expressing something that everyone here on this planet is feeling deeply right now. And because of that, like, that makes me even more proud that this is the one thing that I've worked on that has broken the mold and really become a cultural phenomenon.
Wow. I love the way you're describing it in so many ways. I was wondering, because the first time I heard this book one, I thought that this was a full cast of people narrating all of the characters. Yes, I thought maybe there was one guy who narrated a couple of them and another girl that narrated a couple of them together. I heard similarities, so I thought, okay, you know, they had a group of people that got together. No, this was all you. And for that reason, I was hoping you might be able to read a few phrases from different characters. I've kind of put them in an order that I think has some nice variety, just so people can get an impression of like how wide your range is. Yeah, okay, put these in the chat. Look at I wanted to start with Carl, even though I know that might not be the best one to start with.
I don't know. It's the baseline. He is the most difficult voice out of all of them.
We're going to talk about that so much.
Yeah, okay.
I want to talk about that. Okay, but let's do like Carl, let's say most recent Carl.
Okay. You're not going to break me. You might hurt me or kill me, but you're not going to break me.
Yeah. So to me, that's so crazy. Like your voice is just so incredibly deep. You got this almost like that tiny bit of growl or rasp essentially that's underneath it. It's amazing and so different from your speaking voice. Okay. That is next to, well, I would say that is the most common character that we hear. Yep. And then probably after that, it's the AI, right?
Probably. Yeah.
Probably. Okay. So AI is next.
All right. New achievement! You read a book! You managed to make it all the way through the first Dungeon Crawler Carl book without throwing it against the wall! Reward? You get to read the next book.
And so I love the way, like, between those two, like, I can hear such a shift in the laryngeal height and the space around it, too. It's absolutely insane. Okay, so we're going to get into that. We're going to, like, pin in that. Now I want to flip to a female character whose accent I thought was like so strangely lovely. So this is Audette.
Okay, Audette. My audience loves you. The longer you stay alive, the more money I make. And there is nothing I love in this universe more than money. Now get back in there and try not to die.
I love that. I love the accent with it, but I also love actually hearing the AI and Audette next to each other. I hear like this twang that's in common for the first time. I was like, ooh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I think I hear it too.
Now, before the next one, can you please do the typical sound of prepotente?
Okay. So one thing about, I would consider this also a catchphrase. like you know, a lot of the characters have catchphrases, right?
Yep.
And I think the book also makes fun of catchphrases. But just like those catchphrases, I try to do prepotente's differently every time.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
So we're gonna have the actual audio of that. The hilarious thing is it on Zoom.
Let me see if I clipped. No clip.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so for all y'all listening, we're gonna take a different recording of the audio so you get a better hear of it. It clipped so much for me, I didn't hear it, but I've heard it, you know, lots of times in the book. Anyhow, and that was prepotente, goat-ish thing.
Yes, goatish, caprid.
Goat-ish,
I think he's a caprid.
You know, I kind of wondered sometimes, is he actually considered a caprid? Because anyhow. Okay, so prepotente line.
I'm sorry, Carl. I shouldn't have called you malodorous, nor should I have questioned your ability to inexpertly set off every trap in the area.
I love that. Prepotente is honestly, I think, one of my favorite characters of the whole series.
Yeah, he's great. I think the key to him is like living on that part of the voice that likes to crack.
Oh,
yeah.
That's
just kind of
fascinating.
keeping that balance there.
Because Then he always sounds like he's a little emotionally on the edge, like as if you were in middle school about to give a speech, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Right. And then he also gets like a sort of British height to it. So he sounds very proper and educated in a lot of ways, but then totally awkward at the same time. It's so endearing.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, his voice. Love it. Okay, Samantha, Samantha, the sex doll head.
Yes, the sex doll head. The sex doll head. I'm going to kill your mother.
I almost, just so you know, I almost gave you the AI creepy voice, or like the sexy.
I can do it.
One.
Go on.
Okay,
No problem.
Go for it. Let's compare these two side by side because they crack me up. So,
Okay.
Let's do Quasar.
Yeah. All right. Quasar, my favorite.
Oh,
Besides
really?
Carl, my favorite. Yeah. We're in a hurry, so we need to get past the first date finger. His lines also crack me up like crazy.
Right? They're always so offensive, but rush past at the same time.
Yeah. We're in a hurry, so we need to get past the first date finger bang jitters and move straight to the part where we argue about me smoking too much. Got it?
I love the speed. Like, that's one of the things that's really fun is how you vary tempo between characters.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's so important. It's so important.
And then also all of the sound. You add so many sounds that aren't in the actual writing to bring more character to them. And I want to talk about that too.
Yeah. Tempo and dynamics are the most important, I think, like traits of a character to get them to really separate them from the others.
Tempo and dynamics, not pitch or like range.
Not so much. Not so much.
Huh.
I could stick to the same range for an entire cast, and the more like you can still get the differentiation in the characters with that tempo and dynamic sort of pattern, because that's there. A voice is a voice. A voice is just where you rest, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the dynamics and the tempo are about how you feel.
Mm-hmm. And when I hear you say dynamics, I'm thinking loud, soft. Is that the way you're using? Okay, cool. And then when I think about loud, soft, a lot of times people will attribute things like how much press there is, essentially, like how much. Well, I'm thinking about it from the voice science perspective. I'm thinking about how much the vocal folds are pressed together versus airy. A lot of times when people hear something that's pressed, even though it doesn't actually have that much dB, they'll think that it's louder just because of like the quality or the timbre of the sound. And if they hear something airy, they think it's softer, even though maybe it could have the same dB. So when you're saying dynamics, do you include that idea of pressed versus airy phonation?
I don't think so, not necessarily, but I mean that is an element that you can adjust, I guess, when thinking about dynamics. To me, dynamics is more about the change than it is about where they are.
So it's about having a sudden shift, because if
sudden
you suddenly
or
shift
subtle, right? Like it depends on the context.
Of course.
Right. What do you want to do you want it to be evident that this person is getting more and more excited as he goes? Are you wanting the dynamics to be flat so that you know that this character is unaffected, by the circumstances?
Okay. So that idea of like the different, I would say like different areas that we can fade in and out of voice quality. I want to get into that a lot more.
Sure.
Okay.
So I finished the first list. Do you want to go back to horny AI?
Yeah. Can we hear horny AI? Because it is seriously one of the creepiest horny voices I've ever heard.
New achievement. You read a book. You managed to make it all the way through the first Dungeon Crawler Carl book without throwing it against the wall. Reward. You get to read the next book.
So imagine me like seriously rocking my 1-year-old who still does not sleep for the night, like trying to rock him back to sleep. It's like 2:30 most nights. He's had this like big old awake session. I'm listening to you read these books in the middle of the night, and then that came on, and I was like, I'm like, should I turn this off? That was amazing, man. Wow. That voice had one of the biggest emotional reactions from me of any of the voices that you did, to the point where I seriously was like, okay, weird. I don't know if I can do this at the same time as soothing my child. So amazing job. Kudos.
Thank you. Happy to disturb you.
Isn't that perfect? It's the disturbing check. All right. So before we do a Princess Donut, I know everybody wants to get to Princess Donut. I actually saved one of my favorite characters for the last. So there's 2 more to go that I just want Jeff to do here. Sorry. No, actually there's 3 because I put one other in because there's an interesting technique that I thought you demonstrate with that character. But everyone loves Princess Donut. And I heard that with Princess Donut, which is the cat, for those of you who don't know, the most amazing cat, best cat character that's ever existed. I saw your tier ranking video. That was a really good video, ranking all of the different characters. And of course, Donut's like way up there, right? What we said, not just was it A tier or was it S tier?
No, she's S tier in my opinion.
S tier, yeah. Total tops. And this voice, you weren't actually supposed to do, right?
That's correct. Yeah. We wanted to get DCC out faster. My schedule at the time was really limited. The other actors in my troupe's time were really limited at the time. And so like my initial intention, because even at that point in my career, I was like, I want to replace all my female voices with actual ladies doing the voices. People are impressed with them. I understand. But for me, like, I still prefer a lady's voice to do a lady's character. Like, there's a difference between like acting level for me versus a lot of people, even across sexes. But like, as soon as we have people that are up to my level, when it comes to that, I want them to sound more authentic,
Mm-hmm.
right? So Annie Ellicott is our main female narrator. She is incredible. She's probably my favorite singer of all time.
Oh,
yeah, she's absolutely wonderful. She's a jazz singer. She's a composer. She's a genius. And I wanted her to play Princess Donut, but we just, decided, hey, we don't know how well this book is going to do. There may be a time, like, automatically after I was done reading it, I was like, I want to make a full audio drama of this, so
Mm-hmm.
but not right now, because we want to get it out sooner.
Mm-hmm.
So let's save that for later, and that'll be my passion project for later. Hopefully we'll get, enough budget from this thing that we'll be able to justify it. Boy, was I in for a surprise.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, like, I consider Dungeon Crawler Carl like, yeah, let's take this on. I know it's weird and, people aren't gonna immediately grab onto it, but like, I just love it. So let's do this, But yeah, it was going to be Annie. And if you actually watch the episode of Sound Booth Theater Live that we did when Matt requested it, you can hear the first time I try Carl's voice, and Annie was here
Whoa.
actually at my house, and she played Princess Donut, and then Gary Furlong played the Juicer. The Juicer is the first scene I ever narrated for Dungeon Crawler Carl, and that's what Matt watched and was like, yeah, you guys need to do this.
As the face of the creature zoomed big on my interface.
This is the Juicer!
The cheese factor of some of these descriptions is just horrifying.
Donut muttered.
It's worse than the Knight Rider show you love so much.
Not cool. That was my bro!
He picked up another weight and hurled it at me.
Wow.
Yeah, it was supposed to be
That's a
Annie
cool scene.
Ellicott. It was supposed to be Annie Ellicott.
Okay, but
then-
now it's like iconic.
Right. Yeah,
Right?
I was still gonna recast Donut for the audio immersion tunnel, and the fans were like, no. So I was like, okay,
Accurate. We love your Princess Donut.
Yeah.
So I actually have two things from Donut because the second one just makes me laugh so much. First, I feel like such a typical great description of Donut.
Here we go. Okay.
I'm already one of God's most perfect creatures, so I won't be changing race when the opportunity arises. I was born a cat, and I will die a cat. In fact, I'm going to have to insist that Carl choose a cat race as well.
It's just that captures her character so well, like so snooty.
Yeah.
Oh, but like shockingly so
Snooty, full of herself.
Yeah.
You know, you can see this.
Exactly.
In here.
But
yeah.
somehow you still also brought some vulnerability into her sound, which I think it's priceless for later. And when we start to see more inside of Donut, and that I think that's part of why your voicing of her is so perfect. Well,
Thank you. Thank you.
He's like, nothing's perfect. I'm an artist.
Yeah, that's. I just nod when people say stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, it's perfect. I'm okay.
Oh yeah. All right. So, and then this is where Donut is definitely not perfect. The next line.
Yeah, and now this goes into something you were just talking about, where you can use the sound of it to make it sound like she's yelling.
Yeah.
But I'm not actually yelling.
Okay, I want to see how you do this.
This music is making my head hurt. Why can't they play something good, like Oasis?
Do you just basically like take like a bigger breath and add some pressure here, and like it looked like you essentially got a little more set.
Yeah, just I would say so.
I'd say so, yeah. A little more pressure here and a little bit of a widening right here. That's about it.
I'm not really speaking that much more loudly.
I saw I watched a bunch of shorts of you doing different voices, and I saw that sometimes you would actually move away from the mic, but it seemed like that only happened if you were truly doing something of like a character yelling across the room at another one, whereas we have Donut essentially typing in all caps, which is like text yelling, and that's your voice for text yelling for Donut.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I don't have to move. I don't have to. I don't have to worry about clipping. I'm pretty good with the mic as far as positioning, like depending on how loud I'm gonna be to make sure that, I have the space needed. Like the space between me and the mic is very important when it comes to how it's actually gonna sound. But also like when you're yelling, I even have a plugin on my Apollo that helps keep things from clipping, but like you still can. So I try to stay pretty distant from the mic. Or if we want something like, for instance, in book 8, there's a character that's like under a table when he's talking a lot. And so I literally got under the desk.
Oh my gosh.
and yelled up
Amazing.
at the mic to get that sound. But yeah, I'll walk away. There's Bucket Boy. There's a bit where he's like yelling at Samantha from far away,
from across the room while they're decorating, right? Yeah, I think that was the clip I saw actually of you like across the room. It was good.
Yeah.
Well, also, I can't believe that Matt wrote like Oasis. Like, isn't he a metalhead? Right?
Yes. But that's why it's so in character for it to be Donut who says this.
I was like, oh man.
Both of us hate Wonderwall.
Oh my God.
We hate that song.
I analyzed that on the Charismatic Voice a while back, and I found some things about it that were interesting, but I also think I might dislike it more now, now that I've gotten into more analysis of music. I liked it when I was 18, 19-ish, and I didn't listen to it forever. And then I listened very, very deeply. And usually when I listen like really intensely deeply, I end up having this sort of awe for artistry. And that is one of the few ones where I kind of went back to it and a few days later thought, yeah, that's not as good as I thought it was.
Yeah, you know what? I think there's an objective sense in which it's a really well-composed song for doing what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
right? Like, I think it's really well crafted. At the same time, the thing that it does is what I hate about music, and that is appeal to the broadest audience possible, and like maintain this sort of nostalgia, and and that's kind of like all it really pulls on.
It's like Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Yeah.
Right? The empty calories, like everybody loves it, but after you've eaten it, like, why do you still crave it? And does your stomach hurt a little bit truly?
yeah, exactly. It's candy. It's
Yeah. I actually really agree with you, though. There's like, it's very well crafted in so many different ways. It was actually the deep vocal analysis of it that made me go,
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
how much Damon Albarn have you analyzed? I've only seen, I think, one of your videos. You analyzed song 2.
I just did it.
Okay.
I just did that. Yeah.
Okay.
That was
His
within
voice,
the last 2 months.
I'd love to hear you analyze his voice a lot more, because I love his voice.
What else do you like by him that you're like, please analyze?
Oh shit, man. I like almost all of his music. Let's see. Something from Blur. I mean, Blur is my favorite stuff that he does. Terracotta Heart.
Put it down. I might do it. I'm not going to promise, but because it's you, and I seriously, you don't know how many, like, we joke about Baby at Night, but it is, I think any new parent knows that's one of the most difficult times of a baby, is the first year of life. And when your baby won't sleep at night, ours have never been good sleeping. So this is baby number 2. So they're not good sleepers. And I do not joke when I say it really helped keep me sane. All parents are insane. But the ability for me to plug into a book and a good performance too, because the moment a narrator does something that I don't like, I'm done. It is so fast for me, and it's actually kind of horrible. I can't listen to so many books I actually really love because the narrator turned me off within the first 5 minutes, sometimes first 30 seconds. But I think it can just be so maddening when you've had so little sleep, and this little guy that you absolutely love, like totally love, but he's just crying and crying and crying. You're just like bouncing and exhausted and trying to stay awake. And then you sit back in the chair and you're like, okay, I can't fall asleep with this kid. If I fall asleep, this is a safety hazard for my child. So it's so hard sometimes to stay awake then. And if I have an audiobook in my ear throughout it all, it helps so much. So anyhow, I'm really like truly grateful. All right. So this said, your performance of Florin in particular, I wanted to highlight.
Okay. Yeah, this is one of the ones that I'm most conflicted about. I don't like my Aussie accent.
That's right.
I feel like it's a little too Dundee. I want to get more into the more modern, casual version of the Aussie accent and get that down. But at least Florin is a crocodile special forces type guy, so the Dundee-ness of it doesn't seem so out of place, right?
Yeah.
I might die tomorrow, but it won't be because I've given up. And I want to thank you for that.
So the thing that fascinates me about this is actually the distortion you use. And that's...
that one.
Wait, can you do that again?
This is Florin. This is where he lives. Even that was more Cockney than it was Aussie.
Yeah, I keep thinking about what part of your throat is making that rattle. And
it feels like up and back.
Well, because up and back, that would make me...
Do you have a diagram?
I actually have lots of things to demonstrate, but I actually just brought this one back from a voice conference, Voice Foundation Symposium in Philadelphia. We did some presentation on our work looking into researching extreme vocals and growls and whatnot. So anyhow, I got really excited because there was a vendor that was selling this. I was like, oh, sweet, I can actually use that to demonstrate some things, even though I wish I had some more I wish I had some more additions to it to demonstrate. But so like for me, like if we were right, sinus cavity, mouth, lips, teeth, you have your massive tongue there. I think this is so funny because people just don't understand how big a tongue really is. It's freaking huge. Your tongue is a problem child, but it's also really important. So anyhow, you got your tongue. And then back here, this is basically your soft palate. And there's like a uvula that dangles down in there. And like, if I think about like back, up and back, I'm usually thinking about the uvula as like a kind of sound, right? And it's hanging out back there. And that's definitely what you're doing.
Probably not the uvula then.
Probably like, it sounds like it's lower. And it made me think, okay, I can show you one thing in here. When people swallow, they have the epiglottis. It essentially flaps back and forth, and it helps determine if things are going to go down the esophagus or your trachea. And on top of the trachea is where your vocal folds hang out. So that's one of the things, this kind of sound that almost sounds like it's happening in your throat. And that can feel like it's a little bit higher. So like if you were to do it again, does that sound have a lot of air coming through it?
Yeah. There's a lot of air. There's a lot of air there.
Mm-hmm. It almost like it sounds like a little
through. It's not coming through easy. It has to be pressed through.
So I don't know if I would say it might be like epiglottis against something. The thing is, with the research we've been doing, we're finding that it's so complex. People don't isolate these structures like we used to think they would isolate them. There have been a couple people that would go that direction, but that's only if they really trained that isolation. Instead, we see, an epiglottis is banging against the arytenoids, or, there's also area epiglottic folds, but we actually haven't been seeing those at play as much as I expected to. So it almost sounds like you've got the epiglottis to me going against the arytenoids there. So
that's what I was going to suggest. Hey, maybe that's what's happening is that I'm pushing the epiglottis back against, and then it's vibrating against the back of my throat instead of just flapping there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we see that epiglottis, like you can see it just hitting the back wall of the pharynx. I mean, like, blah. Or sometimes actually we'll just see it waving in the bit. It's so funny. I have an epiglottis like happy wave that I do. I was like, whoa, that's weird. And I've seen people do that, but it doesn't sound cool or complex. Sometimes I see this like epiglottis rattle against the back of the throat, and then sometimes you see those arytenoids that will come in there and actually like they're like these two knobby things, and they go essentially against the epiglottis. That's kind of what it's sounding like to me because they're more engaged and you have that pressure coming through. But I think that the growl that you have on Florin is really awesome. It's consistent, but it doesn't seem like it's over pressurized. It has that like war hero worn sound without actually sounding like it's hurting or damaging to the voice in any way.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of voice actors who try it and it just rings false.
Uh-huh.
Like you're putting a voice on. And that's one of the things that's the most difficult humps to get over as a voice actor is learning, like everything sounds false at first because you just don't have enough experience with your instrument. That's pretty much it. Like you just haven't put in the reps to make it sound natural.
So is just time and repetition the way to get over that hump?
Yeah, dedication, and listening to yourself, torturing yourself over it. I think that's the biggest thing that voice actors don't do is listen to themselves. They do the work and they send it off to their editors and proofers, and it gets processed and they never see it again or hear it again. Or they hear it after it's been processed. And they're like, yeah, great. No, it's because it was processed that you think it's great, right? Like you need to hear how your performance sucks.
So why do you think
you can't get better otherwise?
Sorry to interrupt there. Why do you think that you have the dedication with voice acting that you didn't have with music in college? Sorry, that's like I almost feel bad for that question.
It may be just necessity. right? So when I started doing voice acting, it wasn't like, you know what? I think voice acting would be cool. It was like, okay, I got bills, and if I'm going to continue to not have a real job, I really need to be good at something that will at least pay the bills. And so, you know, when I started my voice acting journey, and this was really on a whim, right? Like, one of my buddies suggested to me that I audition to be a radio that I apply for a radio DJ job that he found, like a posting for. So I was like, voice acting, huh? Radio. I don't know. Let's give it a shot. So I auditioned for that, never heard back ever, but it got like the bug in there. I was like, you know, I don't know, maybe I can do this. And so I got onto voices.com and and like I discovered I could just infinitely audition. But I didn't just like look for something that I thought I would be good at. I auditioned for literally everything. So I was doing like 100 auditions a week and landing maybe one job per week.
Yep.
Right? Well, because I was auditioning for everything possible, that meant I was like trying every type of voice style and going and doing research to all, you know, for all these different commercials and types of jobs. Like, what do I need to sound like? And then lo and behold, I was doing those voices and not getting the jobs. Right. And then I would get the one job that actually my voice was good for. So if I had done what the voice actors in the industry tell you to do, which is find your niche, find your lane and stay in it, then, you know, I would never have developed this. Right. I would have just been the guy with the, you know, kind of young professional type of sounding voice.
Oh my gosh.
You know?
I love this as career advice for so many people. And it's applicable to so many different career paths too.
Yeah. Well, it's the exact advice that puts everyone, all the voice actors in trouble now, which is, find your formula and stick to it. Well, who's really great at creating a formula and sticking to it?
AI?
Computers.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So, you know, that's why I'm absolutely not worried about AI, because it's like, I'm constantly evolving and trying new things and doing whatever voices I need to do in the moment. So for me, being a voice actor is not specializing in a voice that I do. It's understanding my instrument really well and being able to apply it in whatever context I need to.
I feel like I want to talk a lot less and just let you talk more, because everything you're saying, I'm like, wow, yeah, that's really interesting. And it's insightful, especially because AI is, I mean, it is a hot topic for good reason right now. It's fascinating. I think I'd like to actually like take a little stab into that for a moment, because with AI in particular, at one point, I was working and doing VO to actually become the voice of self-driving cars, and was working with this company called Speak With Me, and they had, they have a patent on several different things for that AI. And the super sad thing is, I think that AI developed so much and so quickly that now we can take, it's like 5 minutes of a voice. It can be even less now, I think, and AI can replicate it fairly well. And I think I had something like 36 hours of voice recordings of me literally just reading books to it. And I take a look at that work from back then and what's happening now. And I find it absolutely terrifying to think that this job, like all of the people that are creating voices for navigation or for a phone, that kind of thing, those jobs are disappearing because it's so easy to create an AI that does it for multiple situations. However, it's true that, especially considering how particular I am about narrators for audiobooks, I I don't see a future in which the AI is able to replace you. I don't think it's possible. Even though AI is kind of like amazing and jumping ahead really, really quickly. Your position then is safe. Are there other positions that you think in the VO realm are particularly safe?
Animation, I think.
Why?
Because animation, I think now this is a little bit complicated because I think that there's a lot of animation, especially the really popular animation that's at some point Disney, I think, really started this trend where animation studios were hiring celebrities rather than voice actors, right? And because of that, the quality of voice acting in animation went down, right? But then, like, when you listen, like, for instance, Robin Williams was the beginning of that, right? Like, when Aladdin hit, it was because Robin Williams is such an epic, insane actor. And yeah, his name got all the asses in seats, but his performance is what kept people watching the VHS over and over. Right?
So good. Yeah.
Right? You can't say that about The Lion King with Simba. There's nothing particularly compelling about that performance. But we got, like, I think the most important actor in that one was Scar, right?
Well,
and
James Earl Jones was Mufasa, right?
Yes, yeah, but he wasn't in it very much.
He wasn't in it much, but when he came on, I was like, that's a very low, comforting voice.
But Jeremy Irons is a fantastic voice actor.
Did he do the singing as well for Scar?
I'm sure, but like I think the singing for that particular song is very much more like spoken. Yeah,
yeah. It's not. It's almost more like rap.
Yeah, almost like operatic rap. I don't know.
Operatic rap.
I don't know how to put it. But nice. Once you get like real voice actors in, you get such more compelling performances, and that's what I think is key to keeping people engaged in an animation, right? And and it doesn't necessarily put the asses in the seats, right? It keeps them there.
I really think about like dubbing because I'm a huge fan of Miyazaki, and I think that is one of the more difficult voiceover jobs to do really, really well, in my opinion.
Dubbing, yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and I think one of the reasons why I prefer subtitles because I want to hear the voice actors that the director had a vision for. Right? And I want to hear the culture that the animation came from. And I think there's more of that, it's just more authentic that way. You get the real emotion of the scene much better when it's like they're not trying to match lip movements.
I agree with that.
And so, yeah, it's... animation, I think benefits the most out of really great voice actors and if you just replace it with AI, especially if you're hoping that people are going to watch it over and over like they did Aladdin, that would be my goal as an animator, especially if I'm aiming it at kids. I want the parents to feel like they got their money's worth and they can keep their kids entertained for many, many, many hours. I think that that's the most important. When it comes to video games, the scripts are so vast with so many different contexts, with so many different characters that like I feel like it's inevitable that video game people are gonna stick to AI and maybe just get a few characters with authentic voice actors, because like honestly, think of how many video games now are so procedurally generated, right? Like Minecraft, for instance. Everything's procedural. There's elements that are fixed, but then when you start a new map, it's completely random and you're never going to see the same map twice unless you get the seed number or whatever. But that's all procedurally generated. Well, don't you think that at some point we're going to want procedurally generated NPCs and procedurally generated conversations?
Yeah.
Well, how do you have a budget that's astronomical enough to hire voice actors to read every possible sentence that might come out of a procedurally generated NPC's mouth, right? So there's so much more scope to a video game that I think the AI is inevitably going to take a very large role in video game development. Whereas animation, the scope is fixed, right? We have this many minutes in the movie. We have this many minutes per episode in 8 episodes, right? Like, okay, we know what the script is. We know exactly what we want out of the performance or out of the character. So let's get in there with professionals and get it done right.
I like the way that you're looking at it too then. So this idea that animation is less likely to be overtaken by AI because the script is more finite versus like saying like, oh, well, because of that, I can program all of the emotions that this particular AI is going to have. At that point, just go get your voice actor.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, how much time do you want an engineer to sit there?
And you can just have a
whittle
professional.
away? Yeah, exactly. That's like not even, it's not even decision making, right? It's like the engineer gets the material and chooses the best possible take that they can, whereas an actor can look at a line and say, let's try it this way. But what if he's not actually feeling that way right now? Maybe we can take a different angle on this entire conversation if I change the tone just like this. There can be a back and forth between the director and the actor who has experience in voicing characters and in working with other directors.
Yeah.
So like, there's just so much there that why bother your engineers with that task when you're only going to get a maybe slightly better than mediocre performance out of it.
I like that. People, note, don't necessarily make your engineers the performers. That's important. I guess before we dive into Ellie, you mentioned in another video that I saw that you felt like some voices were stock voices versus this is like more of a custom sound. Can you describe what you mean when you're comparing those two?
Yeah. So when I say stock, it's like a voice that I didn't really work on specifically. It's just like a reliable one that I can always pull from and get the vision and evoke the character that I want to evoke in your mind.
So how many stock
like
characters do you feel like you have?
Oh, fuck, dude. Don't ask me to count. Don't ask me to count my characters.
Well, you did, 200 named characters in Dungeon Crawler Carl so far? So
yeah, and I probably remember like 50 of the voices. If you were to ask me, hey, on command, do this character's voice, the rest of them I have to like go listen, and see what I did there. But when I say stock, I mean like characters that I would use for background, for unnamed characters, that like will elicit, that will evoke the vision that I want to evoke. Okay. So like, I think the one character that I specifically mentioned in the tier list would be Agatha.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like just a crazy old lady voice,
Right. Okay. Give us a Agatha crazy old lady voice. My tea's too cold.
Okay.
My tea is too cold.
Okay. So like, just like
what are you
over
doing?
the top. So like, yeah, like up there. Is that what was this again? The flat.
The uvula. There's like your uvula that goes like flappy, flappy, flappy.
I think I feel that vibrating.
If you do like a crow, if you go, that's your uvula. Yeah.
Okay. So is that? It's just more pressure.
Well, usually the uvula is if you do like a French, right, that also, like, which almost sounds like with Samantha, that you get into uvular action at times. But there's also, you can just get like a retinoid rattle really easily that feels like it can be higher sometimes. The stuff in there is like millimeters apart. It's so close. So a lot of times we'll get a sensation that you're like, oh, that's high or low. And even if it's something different, like for some reason we're getting sensation in a particular area, which is really weird. Anyhow.
Yeah. So Agatha for me it's always been such a mysterious character, but also at the same time a stereotype that I just lean into it.
Can you put your hand on your larynx? Like, tell me what happens when you do Agatha. My tea is too cold.
If I'm doing Agatha, then it's vibrating right here for sure.
And does your larynx go up or does it stay like neutral? Where does it go?
My larynx go up? This is the larynx right here.
Yeah. Yawn. And then swallow. And you can feel your Adam's apple pie go up like crazy. So one of the like positions that's really interesting to help people find some of the distortion is to start to swallow and then hold your larynx high.
Okay.
And like keep the Adam's apple so that
Okay.
Sometimes when people shift to a higher voice in particular, they'll raise their larynx a whole bunch. And I'm guessing when you do Carl that you lower it and also poof everywhere.
Doing Carl. Yeah. A little bit of that for sure.
Yeah.
It comes out this way.
Yep.
Yeah.
Expands the whole cavity around there, right?
Yep.
It'd be so interesting to actually look in your throat when you do that because I seriously feel like I can see this. There's almost this entire cavity that's like cradling the larynx in there, but there's space between the larynx and all of the walls. And it feels like it just goes,
Right.
like the larynx drops and then there's this space. And so that's what it sounds like you do with Carl to me anyhow.
Yeah. But Agatha, Agatha, like,
Stock.
you know, I just don't put a whole lot of thought into her. You know, like it's just one that I picked up. I'm sure that when we get deeper in, because Matt's kind of told me his plans for Agatha, that's going to change a bit. But you know, like what we've all seen of Agatha so far is a facade anyway.
Right. I'm actually that's one of the most interesting characters. It's going to be fascinating to see. So let's talk about then
Ellie.
Like maybe a stock character and moving it towards a custom character. So do you start your custom characters from stock?
I think so. I think that's what happens is not all of them, right? But that is a process that can happen. They'll start stock, and then as I continue to spend time with them and put them through more scenes, I learn a little bit more about them and I add more elements or take away more elements. Okay.
Did Ellie start as a stock character? Because you have your old kind of, she was an old crazy lady first, right?
Yeah. And definitely she changed right away as soon as she came back in book 3.
So a spoiler, right? Everyone. We'll just like, if you don't want to know about Ellie, which we're not going to talk too much spoilers, but just so you know, we're going to talk about a character in book 3. So yeah, obviously they survived.
I'd honestly have to listen to my performance of her in book 1 to answer this question accurately. It's been a while. I can't listen to books 1 through 3 anymore.
Especially because Carl's voice was so different, which is on my the Carl voice
especially because of that. I just can't just get it away from me.
It really bothers me.
Yeah, it really bothers me. But like, you know, if I were to
I imagine that Ellie probably sounded more like this in the beginning.
And then when she got her youth back, the power came back into her voice. And like, she's definitely a head forward type of character.
Okay, so how do you think about that, like in your throat? Head forward, but do you literally lean forward? Do you think pressing or frying?
She's direct. She's definitely got fry in there. She's got fry, and the hard thing to do is to like make sure to keep that old texture in there while still pushing through the fry, and that's something that I struggle with sometimes. I'll leave one of the other behind, right? So like
somehow you captured old lady Ellie and put her into a young body, and you got the like spice and the dirty side of her. You
Yeah.
brought that into the voice and like did give her that super forward, bold personality at the same time. Like you took this voice through so many character changes while still maintaining this linkage. I find that fascinating.
I think that's about visualization more than anything. That's we can talk about like what I can do with my voice and the technique all day, but I think at the core of all of it is the picture in my mind, right? I am seeing this character in the scene. I am seeing all the context around. I am seeing the characters that are listening to them and who they're addressing, right? All of that plays into how I'm doing the voice because, it's almost as if I am dubbing. It's like I'm seeing what's happening and I'm using my voice to express what that character should sound like in that particular, like all the context matters. And so since I can see it so vividly, that's probably what helps me maintain consistency between characters.
That's cool. And I think that like you're right. We can science it all we want and talk about what's actually going on in your throat, which I find is so fascinating. But in the end, that's not what the performance is actually based on. That influences technique, and that often can help expand a person's Rolodex of voices or abilities as a singer. I'm a huge fan. We just recently did some biofeedback. So we had the singers with the scope in their nose, like up in the nose and looking down and working on workshopping sounds. This was absolutely incredible. We're going to expand it, I think. But I think that I would love for every single professional vocalist to have this chance to look at what's happening in their throat at the same time and connect some ideas because it expands your library immensely. But when you get up there and you actually do the performance or you get in your booth, at that point, the technique and the variety of sounds, it should already be set. I think you just go and you do it. And that's about this and the thought and the visual and the heart and not about the science then.
Yeah. I mean, all that stuff, all the understanding our anatomy and being able to use different techniques to change this or that, I look at that as tricks. Like little tricks, little details that we can add here or there. But fundamentally, this is about acting. This is about trying to embody a character, trying to be that character and experiencing what that character is experiencing at the same time. Like, I could keep the same voice for every character. The acting is really what makes it good.
So why did you change Carl?
Why did I change? I couldn't help it.
Oh,
I
because you
couldn't
felt
help
like,
it.
did you just discover Carl in a different way?
No. It was intuition barging in, basically, and taking me over. So once I got to book 2, I started noticing a bit that the Patrick Warburtonisms were kind of falling away. Right? And all through books 2 and 3, I was like struggling to keep the Warburton stuff. But I just naturally, like, while I was acting, kept losing it.
That's so interesting because it feels like that's Carl's natural progression, right? Where at first he almost feels like Kronk, right? And then you get more and more of his real personality. And I think maybe I perceive this so much from your voice, though, because it did feel like the way that your voice shifted was actually how Carl's character, how I perceived him overall shifted.
I mean, I think that's a very generous interpretation. But I also think that perhaps I didn't have so much of a problem with the Patrick Warburton impression and through book 1, because I don't think we really got much of Carl's deep character in it.
Mhm.
Right? I think that it was easy for me to just assume he's a big, dumb, lovable lug.
Yep.
Right? And that's who you typecast Patrick Warburton as. Right? Like, that's the kind of characters he always played. So that's why I cast him as Patrick Warburton in my head when I first started. But after going through so much shit with Carl through the books and discovering who he really is and discovering how much more depth there was to his character, I think that I was, as an actor, intuitively bucking that. And like, it was book 4 when I just gave up, and I was just like, I'm just gonna play Carl as Carl wants to be played. So
how did Matt feel about that?
he didn't comment on it. It's, it's only been a topic of conversation in like interviews and stuff over the past year or two.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because, we never really publicly talked about it. And, it didn't, until someone asked me about it, I didn't start talking about it. But like, I'd love to speak honestly about what I do in my craft. So I was very happy for someone to bring it up so I could give myself shit about it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I can't listen to it now because to me, it's just the wrong decision. It's just the wrong choice.
It's so fascinating that's because Carl is like one of your most amazing voices that you've created. But it's the Carl now that's that way. That's the book 8 Carl, not the book 1.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the Carl I really connect with. Because I, even in book 1, I didn't connect with his character fully. It was just like, yeah, he's a nice guy, maybe not the brightest, and he's going through a hard time.
And Donut was much better.
Yeah, Donut was like so much more obvious.
Was the life of the party.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, like, as you go on, you suddenly realize, like, wow, Carl is so incredible.
Yeah.
Okay. But speaking of Carl's voice, let's talk about recording process here, because you've talked a few times about how Carl's voice is the most tiring. And from my perspective, it sounds like this is because you're essentially depressing your larynx to create this sound, right? When you do that, actually, can you like put your finger on the base of your tongue? Do you feel, when you do Carl's voice, do you feel that engage a lot?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So that the root of the tongue basically pushes down the larynx. And that's so incredible for making a sound. But when you lie in that area for a long time, how many hours of Carl's voice can you do?
5 tops.
5 tops. And then
And that translates to 2 finished hours of audiobook tops.
Okay. And when you're doing recording sessions, do you do one character at a time? Do you have... No, you do the script and you just go straight through.
Yep.
Do you do a cold read first?
The only Carl book I did that for was book 5, which is, ironically, in my opinion, my best performance and my favorite book of the series.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I did not cold read that one first, and I was very upset at myself for not making time to do so. But the others I pre-read. I pre-read.
Okay.
And I will maintain that even today, that is the way I should be narrating audiobooks, is by pre-reading, so that I have some perspective on how tone should be treated through each scene.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you're going to go into a session. If you're doing Carl's voice, are you reading it straight through, or do you like snip out sections? I guess I'm wondering this partly because if this is going to tire you out more, are you setting aside days where you voice Carl more, or do you just know that on Dungeon Crawler Carl recording days you're going to be doing 5 hours instead of 8?
Yeah, just 5. That's the way it is. Like Dungeon Crawler Carl, I just have to take slower. That's it. Now, here's another reality of my life, though. I am the CEO of a audio production company. So
Sound Booth Theater. Look at that. Look at the shirt.
Bam. So I can't even dedicate 8 hours of a day into narrating anymore. I have
That's
so
a
much
good thing,
other
though.
work to do.
Because you can be really, really efficient with your artistic time and then go be a killer CEO. I'm saying this because I do the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how long you've been doing it or, how big your team's getting, but I'm at a point where I need someone else to be CEO so I can get back in the booth, so I can get back into production. Because that's my passion, that's where I'm most happy, and that's where the company's making the most money, to be honest.
This is why I have a Kirk. Kirk is my COO.
Yeah.
Kirk husband, and also partner in all things, right? In raising children together, very important job there. So yeah, he takes care of copyright, for example. So many hours,
Yep.
man.
I am allergic to paperwork for sure. So
He does the health insurance.
Oh my God. Just get it away from me.
Right? You need a Kirk. Everyone I know
We
needs a
kind of
Kirk.
have one, but I don't necessarily like being a leader either. I just want to create.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what I want to be doing. And, I think that they're much more responsible, put together people who can be leader instead of me.
Since we're talking about sound booth theater, how many people are on your team, and what else has sound booth theater created that you think people should really pay attention to?
Well, I think the best way to put that is get onto our app, the Sound Booth app, right? That's where you're going to find all of our other audio dramas. The one I'm most excited about right now and really, really want more attention for is The Bones at Point No Point. That is a straight-ahead mystery thriller, a noir, and I absolutely loved producing that one. It was kind of a cursed production that took way longer than it should have because of all the weird circumstances around getting it done and what was happening with me personally in my personal life when we were doing it. But we got it done, and I think it's beautiful. And one of the main reasons that I like it so much is because it's like a 180 from Dungeon Crawler Carl. It is not batshit insane. It is completely grounded in reality, and but it's still spooky and messed up, as far as like the murderer at the center of the plot. And also it's just classic. It feels classic. The main character feels classic. I really loved playing him instead of a big buff guy getting through insane boss fights and killing goblin babies. It's a middle-aged detective who's trying to retire and trying to live a peaceful life, but his past keeps coming back to haunt him. So it's very it's very classic. And we were going for such a different feel than anything else we've done, because we're all lit RPG, all sci-fi fantasy stuff, right? So it's all spectacle, right? And The Bones at Point No Point is all character and drama.
Something very different.
Yeah. And not only did I enjoy my performance, but I thought the rest of the cast was absolutely amazing and perfect for this production. The author's name is D.D. Black, by the way. Okay. And he's got a 13-book series.
Wow.
And this is just book one. And,
wow, congrats to D.D. That's amazing.
He is cleaning up when it comes to the Kindle version. But the audio drama version is available on Sound Booth. You can just go to soundbooth.app and find it. And you can buy, audiobooks and audio dramas from us. And we've got 2 other publishers on the platform now, and we're continuing to build more publishers.
Good
right.
For you.
So, it's all of our audio dramas are episodic rather than like you just buy one full audiobook. So Bones at Point No Point has 4 episodes, and the first episode of all of our audio dramas is free. So you can check it out and hopefully get hooked. And if you do, get the rest of the episodes. But it's a shorter one. And like, I don't know, all the actors, it did exactly what I wanted. You know, they filled their characters. I think this is my best directing I've ever done. And directing's, you know, a whole other skill set, right? That like trying to get what I want out of someone else without just doing it for them and expecting them to mimic me.
Yeah, or crushing their artistry.
Yeah, right. Like if they're not giving me exactly what I'm envisioning, that means they're the wrong pick. Or that I need to stop being stuck in that vision and try to incorporate that actor, that performer, and their strengths into my vision.
Yeah.
Right. Or just let them surprise me. You know, directing is a completely different thing. But the Bones at Point No Point is something I really want more people to experience. It's about 6 hours total. And another great thing about that production is we actually went to Hansville in Washington to collect a bunch of ambiances because that's where it's set, and the author like actually had specific places that he was inspired by for the settings. So we went and got authentic ambiances from all these places to use.
That one of the things that I think that connected me to Dungeon Crawler Carl was that it was based, or a lot of it was based in Washington. I actually grew up on a farm just outside of Wenatchee, Washington.
Oh, cool.
So that's why, like, when I was talking about Ellie earlier, it was so funny when he had characters from Wenatchee and insane characters. Yep. I was like, oh, you nailed it. But that's really cool that you got to go and get some ambiance in the area.
Yeah. But, you know,
Really,
my
really
crew
cool.
consists, I think at this point we have like 30 people that are dedicated.
Wow.
And a good chunk of them are actors who, you know, the actors are the ones who are least exclusive, you know, to sound booth theater. And I wouldn't necessarily ask for exclusivity from any of them anyway. You know, I want everybody to be as creative as they want and work with whoever they want. But there are actors who just tend to decide to be exclusive with sound booth theater because they just like working here.
Oh, that's a huge compliment.
Yeah, it really is. We have a lot of sound effects engineers and engineers for doing polishing. Well, I call it polishing. It's just mixing and mastering. And then we have proofers, and then we have our social media crew and advertising people. And yeah, it's crazy how this company has grown and evolved. When all I did, I just started it because I was lonely and I wanted somebody to work with.
Come work with me.
Yeah.
Right. I talked with is it Cyn, and Tristan? In order to set up this interview, I think it was Tristan that reached out to me. Just the name's my brother. Very uncommon name. And then Tristan helped me know where to send some tea. And then Cyn was also organizing all kinds of logistics. So just even in getting this interview scheduled, I went through 2 people. So that tells me you've got a team.
I do have a team I'm very proud of. It's you know, as much as I complain about being a leader, like I think the fact that I have such good people makes it easier and makes me look good.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I think about my editors and I'm like, whew. Although one of them told me recently that she thought I had naturally red hair. And I was like, what? Have you seen my roots? You edit me all the time. Sorry, total aside. I have a couple questions left for you here on my list, but I also really want to do some patron questions, which are kind of fun.
Cool.
I know. So I think the thing that would be most fun to do here, other than telling everybody to go check out Sound Booth app, let's play with a voice. This was something I really wanted to try.
Cool.
So you said that you don't really like Miriam Dawn.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I love Miriam. Oh,
I know.
or
And
the
it's
voice.
not the character's fault. I just am not confident about the way I sound.
Okay. So
with her.
The line is, now, Carl, that wasn't very nice. We did save your life.
Now, Carl, that wasn't very nice. We did save your life.
Okay, so can we take Miriam Dom and shift her like 10 billion ways since you don't like her very much?
Sure.
Like that, I would say, like dynamics-wise, that's pretty soft, right? Miriam's pretty soft.
Yes, very soft.
It's very soft. And you have this hilarious, like, after, like, a nice shadow vowel that's happening.
Yeah.
To
That's
make
the
it kind of Italian.
stereotype thing. Yeah.
Right, you're like, oh, it's like if Pavarotti was a girl. Yeah. Okay, so what if she had, or we want to go something totally crazy. So can we take our grit shifter and can we just add, like, a ton of rattle? What happens if she's got rattle?
Okay, so let me. I want to be clear on what you mean by rattle. Okay, so
I was gonna let you experiment with that sound and see what you did.
All right,
because
let's see.
let me see. Rattle was defined 8 different ways in our 8 different subjects recently.
Okay. We'll see if what I do qualifies. So we want
Miriam Dom, and we want a rattle with her. So I guess I would increase the pressure up here. I don't know, it's hard to add texture to this particular voice.
Because it's got so much air that's blowing through it, it's like kind of looser. So what if you make it pressed phonation instead? Is that possible?
pressed phonation.
Yeah, the difference between airy and then really, really, really pressed. She's soft, but can you do soft and
so
pressed?
if we were to press her some more, it would be more like this, and then you want to add a rattle. It's kind of like... it's very hard to use both. Let's see.
Does she have to be louder to get rattled? I'm sorry. This is so selfish of me. I'm like setting this up so intensely right now.
No, it's good. I like it. This is. I love this.
So can you do it?
Without increasing volume. Okay.
That's one of my big questions. Yeah, because the air pressure, I think, is one of the things that has to be there to set rattle. Mm-hmm.
It's almost like I have to whisper if I want to add rattle to her.
Because you kind of get like growl that approaches rattle with Florin. What if you add like...
Right.
But then you drop your larynx like crazy. So what happens if you keep your larynx up?
All right. A rattle may be like this. Up here, if the Miriam Dom could live in this area.
And what if you clear your throat as Miriam?
With her original voice or with the rattly voice?
Try an original voice.
Okay.
It's so funny. You clear her throat as if it wasn't actually a real clear. Like, what if she was coughing? She's on her...
Miriam Dom is going... excuse me.
Yeah, it's funny, like laughing, coughing, sneezing. If I'm a female character, I still need to like find ways to close off the space to make it sound like a smaller space that the cough is coming out.
Oh, that's fat. That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is I never thought about that being a thing. Yeah. So when you're thinking about like adding these extra sounds to characters, are you often essentially just thinking about like, oh man, does that come instinctually to you, or do you ever think like, oh, this character needs a little more non-verbal sounds to occur?
That is intuitive. That is intuitive for sure. Like, because again, it's not like I read a character and then I'm like, okay, I need this element and this element and this element and this element. Right? I just react.
Yeah.
And then what I hear is what I'm adjusting. It's like, okay, this is too much this or that. Let me try introducing this element to deal with it. So always the initial attempt is intuitive. And then I make adjustments with technique.
Okay, yeah, that makes perfect sense.
And so when things like Bucket Boy, he's a fun example.
Because he's got the, I want the wider sound. and I want him to sound panicked all the time, and like, but I want him to sound young, and so like I kind of associate like speech impediments and not fitting in quite right with a speech impediment, and you know he's awkward, but like he still wants to be there and like useful and everything.
So that's one of the things that I add. You know, like the sort of nervous struggle that he's always under.
Ooh. I always, like, in every language I've spoken, I've always noticed they have different, like, neutral vowels that they come to. And it's funny because you essentially created what Bucket Boy's neutral vowel was.
Yeah.
Oh, this kind of, like, very, very wide.
Yeah.
As wide as it feels like the mouth and tongue can go. It
Yeah.
almost feels like the teeth are being pulled out to the sides, right? Do you think about, like, shaping your face ever to get a character? This was something an improv
Yeah,
teacher had me do.
I don't think about it. It just happens,
Nah, that makes sense.
right? Like, listeners famously call me out on my eyebrows all the time. My eyebrows are very active when it comes to voice acting.
One of my favorite lines on a video ever was, "Your left eyebrow is thicker than the other one, but nice video." Right? I was like, thanks. And then I had an entire line of merch that came after that said, "Eyebrows speak louder than words." And I say, I responded to that as, that's the one with superpowers, by the way. Eyebrows.
Yeah.
They're powerful.
Eyebrows are powerful. I think I get a lot of expression out of them, and they must be very active for a reason.
Right.
You know,
They actually change your resonance so much.
they change your resonance.
Yeah, like when you shift your eyebrows and like there's so much of your face that's shifting. You can do it and isolate it and not change your resonance, but when we shift our eyebrows, I think there's so many other things in our face that want to shift with it.
Really?
And I think a lot of times you'll tell female singers especially to think that there's like a little bit of bright sparkle behind their eyes. And I think that can help with raising the soft palate a little bit, maybe even raising the larynx a little bit, because everything here is going lift, 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 lift. And it's all this nice chain reaction. So yeah. Maybe you raise your eyebrows when you're doing female characters.
I think I do. I think that may be the case. I think Donut is, one of the big eyebrow culprits.
Eyebrow culprit, Donut. Yeah. Okay, so I've got so many other questions that I wish I could ask, but I have to have you read this hilarious Patron post that my husband wrote, prompting questions. All right, so this is the Patron post, prompting questions, which I love. He wrote this. Would you please do the honors of reading?
New quest! You've stumbled upon a post by the prolific Kirk McCune, where questions are required to entertain the viewer and stump the poor old Jeff Hayes. Oh, how sad. He must be sitting there enjoying the company of Elizabeth while sipping on his English breakfast tea, and a tiny little piece of his time is now devoted to your simplistic questionnaire. It reminds me of the platypus. How quirky, how insanely silly of a creature that is. Why'd you have to kill off the dodo? Why not the platypus? Why in all the hell did you eradicate that being? Much like your question that you find yourself asking, is it really worth it? At the same time, all the same, it doesn't matter. A question must be asked and an answer will be given, whether Jeff likes it or not. He will answer. He will answer, and you'll get to reap the benefit of having your burning desire illuminated for all to hear. Aren't you special? You have 12 hours from this post going live to complete the task. Better get to it. Reward? Getting your question answered is the reward.
That was brilliant. Also, I'm so proud of my husband for that prompt to our patrons. It's pretty spectacular. Thank you for reading.
No problem.
Okay, so I've got like 10 million questions, but I'm going to handpick a few that I really, really liked. Okay. This is from Spencer. It says, Jeff, if the deal was you had to do all the characters' voices, all of the characters' voices, Which IP's voiceover gig would you sign up for right now, be it animated TV or movie, video game, or audiobook series?
Ooh, that's an interesting question.
Right? I was like, oh, I wish I'd thought of that one.
I think it would take me a while to... Okay. I'll just go ahead and it's always on the surface of my mind right now because I'm obsessed. Robin Hobb's 16-book series, the Elderling Saga, I think it's called.
Isn't the ships of like magic or something in there?
Live Ship Traders is the one I'm currently on.
Oh.
This woman is an absolute genius when it comes to writing. Robin Hobb, holy shit. I like if I had to pick something right now, it would be that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome choice. I like that a lot. Okay, so this one is from Aaron. Do you ever think you are physically becoming any of the voices you bring to life? She kind of touched on that with Bucket Boy a little bit.
No, I think I'm pretty good about leaving work with work. Like not bringing, obviously I work from home, right? But I don't use my voice acting powers outside of work very often. I mean, if I'm telling a story about something that happened, yeah, it'll probably pop in there. But yeah, it doesn't really creep in. It doesn't really creep in when I'm doing other things. In fact, I try really hard to like not think about work when I'm socializing, or else I'm becoming a very boring person unless I can talk about work because I work too much, right? But no, I don't think so. I don't think I think I have a healthy barrier between the characters that I voice and my own personality.
You're doing a lot better than most opera singers. Putting that out there. This is important because I purposely have left this towards the end. Someone wanted to know, having your characters talk is beautiful, but can they also sing? Is it more difficult to sing in character than to talk in character? Please describe how in the world you recorded the Take Me On scene, and also how much did you enjoy singing in the air tonight?
Okay, so I kind of... Was the first question, is it easier to sing in character or speak in character?
Is it more difficult to sing in character than to talk in character?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, singing is generally more difficult than talking, I guess. But I think a more interesting question would be, is it easier to sing in character or as myself?
Ooh, I like that question.
And definitely it's easier to sing in character. Annie told me, oh, it's because you have a target. And when I sing just as myself, I don't know how I'm supposed to sound.
That's interesting. I think that...
because, I can sing and try to sound like another singer that I like. That's easier than just figuring out what my voice is.
So I've obviously trained a lot of people how to sing. And especially when people are in sort of an early stage of singing, a lot of people end up having an accent and they can't figure out why. Or maybe they lose their accent and they might say that really they just have a different accent. And I think that there's sort of a divorce from self that makes it easier for them to sing. I really do think that singing is so inherently tied to a person's fundamental view of themselves, which is why many of us are so impressed by singers. And I agree with you. I think a lot of people actually find it easier to sing in a character or in an accent because it also sort of relieves the pressure from themselves. If somebody criticizes that voice, well, it was that character's voice.
Yeah, exactly.
That wasn't, they can't criticize who you fundamentally are, because when a person has their inner voice revealed, that is scary. So.
Yeah, it is. So I think the second question was...
Did you enjoy recording? This is my question, actually. Did you enjoy recording Take Me On. Was that really difficult? And also,
it was really difficult.
It's a hard song.
It's a really hard song.
I had just done an analysis of it or within the last 6 months. And when you sing that, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, it is a very difficult song to sing. I probably practiced for like 8 hours.
Only?
Yeah. Like, I practiced a lot to get that out.
Did you see my analysis of it at some point?
Of Take On Me? No.
Or Take On Me, yeah.
No, and actually there was a vocal coach who happened to be in the audience while I was streaming myself practicing that, who came in and gave me some tips too, so that was nice.
Wow.
Yeah. It's really hard. The part that really frustrated me was the 2 notes before that super high note that everyone knows.
Yeah.
I wanted to get those without falsetto, and I couldn't.
Oh, yeah, because then you have to essentially do this like
couldn't.
really weird yodel up to it as well. If the high note's going to be good, the 2 notes before it
And it's impossible for me to hit that really high note without falsetto, but like, I know I can do it. I know those 2 notes before it, I can do it. I've hit them before, but I was not able to replicate it reliably, so I had to lean on the falsetto for those 2 notes. It was a thrill to sing, and also it did help that I was singing as Carl, because I had to target it, and then I had to go up high, like I had to do a high Carl voice, which was a little bit tricky, but I think this probably works all right.
Listen to like how I'm just like thinking about your pharyngeal wall here. It really goes so far back.
Yeah, it really does. Like, you gotta get up there. You gotta still create the space that the big guy would take up. But he's naturally he's with a potion. He's got to be higher up than he usually is. So. Yeah, and he hits these notes. He hits these notes sometimes. Oh, really? But he doesn't live up there. But like singing like him was that helped me out, because I actually first started just trying. I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to like think about Carl pitched up and singing at the same time. I'm just going to do this with my natural voice, and people could tell. They're like, I don't know. And then I was like, let me try it as Carl. And they're like, yes. So
that's it.
That's it. That's what needed to happen.
What plugin did you use for Donut's voice? I
don't even remember. My engineers do that. And I think there's some kind of auto-tune and a chorus, I imagine.
Yep. Sounds about right.
Yeah. But then the last question was about the Phil Collins song.
Yeah. Yeah. In the Air Tonight.
Yeah. So that was last minute. Got the lyrics from Matt for that.
Oh my gosh.
And for me, the challenge there was to do it as Pony, but also do it really well. Because both of the songs, I was supposed to do it really well. Pony's supposed to be a really good singer, apparently. So finding where that stupid, whiny voice
we talked about
good.
Sitting on the break too.
Yeah.
That's kind of hard to do, right?
Sitting there and trying to get like an emotional Phil Collins type delivery, And actually, I don't know if Phil Collins' accent comes through in the song, in the original song, because he's an Englishman, right?
I think so.
Isn't he? I don't know. Now I gotta look.
Yeah, no, he's British. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's British. I've analyzed enough things with him.
Yeah, British. Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know. British doesn't necessarily mean English. He could be a Scotsman or something, but no, English. True. Yep, he's English. But I don't necessarily hear his accent so much in his work. But I definitely needed it to come through for Prepotente. Right? But that's one that I barely practiced at all. That was one that I recorded 2:00 in the morning.
Oh man.
And struggling to get everything finished by the deadline to get into Audible.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So like
But-
barely practice, meaning you did it for an hour and then you were like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Because 8 hours was crazy for you.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Maybe an hour.
It was really impressive.
Now the Take on Me one,
It's so hard.
I like to get things in one take. Like if I'm going to use it, I want it to be a take that I use and not something that I had to splice together.
So that was one take of Take on Me.
That was one of many takes. Yes.
But it still was a single take.
Yeah.
Jeez, man.
Yeah. Because I don't know, I just want to be authentic, right?
Yeah.
I want it to be real. You know,
Wow.
I want my illusions to be backed up by reality. You know?
That's fair. That's totally fair. I'm really crazy impressed that you managed that. And do you think that Matt wrote that scene to punk you?
Absolutely. 100%. No,
like, "Here."
he told the story. Like I was with Matt and his wife, and I was with my fiance, and we were in the UK. And Taylor, my fiance, asked him, "Why did you choose this song?" And he was like, "Oh, well, you know, I wanted to think. I didn't know what song to do. I just wanted something really, really difficult." for Jeff to have to sing for the karaoke. So I asked my wife, hey, what's a really, really hard karaoke song? And she immediately said, Take on Me.
That is literally what I said when I was analyzing it. I was like, do not pick this song at karaoke.
It is hard. It is a
It's hard.
difficult song. And like I gained so much more respect for Aha.
Oh my
like
gosh.
the lead singer of that
He's
band is
insanely good.
excellent. He's so good.
Mm-hmm.
Like just the little subtle things in his performance are amazing.
Yeah.
So
He does an acoustic version of it that is so sweet that I also analyzed later. Like, it's incredible.
I'm gonna have to watch
beauty.
this. I'm gonna have to watch that analysis.
Awesome. Tell me your thoughts afterwards.
I will.
I have a few more questions in here. So we have an incredible patron named the Zanaxa. I know Donut is said to have a British tilt, but I wondered if the transatlantic accent also has an influence. The effect, this is a little side note, which I really want you to hear. The effect you give her and all the hundreds of others fits so well. Having initially heard other narrators portray the characters of DCC via BARD services, I heard them all given different voices, but without a doubt, yours has been the most enjoyable. Thanks so much. And I wanted to mention this because you probably don't have many people that it's Braille and audio reading download that she's listening through.
Okay.
And I just thought it was so awesome. Like, it's such a huge compliment. It's a different format there. So she wants to know about the British tilt, transatlantic accent, but I wanted you to have that context.
Yeah. So what's really funny is I was actually attempting to do an authentic English accent, but I keep seeing comments from people that are like, it's not English, man. It's transatlantic. Which is fine. I mean, that makes more sense from a character perspective because she is an American cat.
Yep.
That watches too much TV. Right? So transatlantic is what should be coming out.
Yep.
Now, for myself, I find it difficult to really nail down the clear line between transatlantic and English. I think it's got to do with melody. I'm not sure, but I think that's what it is. Because I'm pretty positive that all of my vowel and consonant sounds within the accent are correct.
So sort of like, I don't know if this gives any help to that, but one of the really interesting things with English and opera, when you're singing American English, we actually go for transatlantic. And unless you're doing like a Southern accent or something like this. But we go for a transatlantic accent, and it just makes it a little bit more clear. And I think it makes things taller, especially, which is very helpful for an operatic sound. Versus when we go for a British thing, that has usually, I mean, there's different accents as well, but a lot of times we're aiming for Queen's English. And I had to do a Violetta from Traviata at one point with English National Opera. And I kid you not, like, the first dress rehearsal, I received 3 pages of notes. This is after already rehearsing for a month and having tons and tons of notes. 3 pages of notes on how to make my English accent more like the Queen's English. It's so stupid specific. I think it has to do with the U's a lot as well. But oh my gosh, and I don't think it's necessarily as tall as people think it is. So,
Yeah,
anyhow.
maybe that's it.
Because
Really?
donuts use but almost like bot.
So the U's,
Butter.
well, I'm trying to think of other U sounds. Because like Northern English would be but. But Southern English is but.
Yes, that
So
was
yeah, I guess it's not as high as donuts, but. But. Okay. Yeah, that could be a part
maybe
of
it's
it.
useful.
I don't
I
know.
don't know if that's useful or not, but I thought it was really interesting.
Sorry,
especially from-
I feel like I'm missing I feel like we went on too much of a tangent and didn't fully answer that person's question.
the question was, wondered if the transatlantic accent has also been an influence, and you answered it perfectly. And then we went on a tangent.
Yeah,
great.
I always think of Frasier when I think of transatlantic.
Oh, I don't actually know the Frasier reference. This is one of those times where my pop culture just falls through.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I missed decades of pop culture at one point, which is why I can have first time reactions.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's okay. That explains a lot. Like, this is the first time you're listening to fucking Tool?
I know, right? Right. No, but legitimately, like, there's a ton of metal and rock. I didn't listen to it as a kid, and then also I did opera. So
Yeah.
yeah, I know it's insane, but it's real because I believe in reality too. I have another question that I think is interesting. You've alluded to it some, but I'd really like to know from Andrew Warwick. When did you develop your characterizations in your school years, perhaps? When did you? Was it when you were doing all of those voice.com acting applications?
I guess the beginning of it must have been childhood or just kind of my nature. Not something I really thought about. You know, especially as a younger person, I've always been an impish character. So, like, I like to imitate and mock things, especially commercials. Right? Like, commercials were I always hated commercials and always, like, imitated them and had fun with that, you know? But I also, I think it's more about absorption. You know, I've watched so many great animations and played so many video games with great voice acting that I think I've absorbed a lot of that. And we were talking about stock earlier. That's probably where a lot of my stock comes from. Right?
That makes sense.
Just the different voice actors and actors throughout my life that I've experienced through the things that I have absorbed. But if we're looking for a place where the characters developed, it would be my early audiobook career.
Okay.
You know, that's where the majority of the troupe started, and then they've all just been practicing themselves as I've gone through more and more better and better books.
Better and better. Yeah, that helps with character development. Let's see. I had a couple more that I was really, really curious about it. This one is so good from Ian Metcalf. If you were asked to narrate something like Lord of the Rings, how would you get around the issue of iconic characters like Gollum without simply copying?
That is a tough question. Often actors come before you and they nail it, right? And it's like, why should I even make a different choice? This is so perfect. And so that's what makes the question tricky. It's like, I mean, you kind of have to change it in order for it to not be it.
Mm-hmm.
But if I do, it's going to be worse. You know? So
Yeah.
so that is a really tricky question, something I'm facing with a potential new production that's coming up soon. Like, there is an iconic character. I can't really talk about the specifics of it. There is an iconic character in this story that everyone has seen the movie performance, and doing anything but that seems terrible, right? But also, if we want our production of it to stand out and for something to be talked about, then yeah, I ought to do something different,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So it's a very difficult. I don't have an answer. I really don't have an answer. I guess, you know, at some point I'm just gonna have to make the decision and cross my fingers.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'll have to learn, you know, afterwards when people make comments whether or not it's the right thing to do or not.
I'm going to be really curious to see what you do. I obviously don't know what this is about, but I'm going to be really curious to see how you decide.
I am too. I'm very excited about it. It is an IP that I'm familiar with and passionate about. So, but the deal hasn't been signed yet.
Okay.
So that's still in process. It may not happen, but
Fingers crossed for you.
yeah.
That sounds like it's something that might be pretty big. Let's see. Is there any lit RPG? I'm going to change Greg's question a little bit. I really want to know too. Is there any other lit RPG you would recommend, or any other lit RPG that you read prior to reading the Carl books?
So honestly, like, I haven't read a lot of lit RPG for fun. It's only been for work.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I can say that the majority of lit RPG that I have narrated, I've enjoyed. So I can recommend stuff to you that I've done, which obviously seems self-serving, but like,
That's okay. Please do
unfortunately,
it.
that is my experience. So the second most successful series that Sound Booth Theater works on is Everybody Loves Large Chests.
I've heard that recommended a bunch.
I will recommend that with a giant caveat. It is twisted and messed up. And if you are offended by anything, don't listen to it. The other big one that I did was Life Reset, which is the main character gets stuck in a VR video game as a goblin.
Yeah.
And he has to play the whole game as a goblin, and like, it's very much it's fun, but what I think its strength is base building. Like, this is the first lit RPG that I experienced where there's like a lot of managing buildings and you know, like spending the resources to make the army multiply faster and all that. So that's really cool in a very gameplay kind of way. And I guess, you know what, I will recommend one that I wasn't involved in at all, which I think doesn't get enough attention. It's called Meet Your Maker. Written by Jonathan McLean and Seth McDuffie, narrated by Jonathan McLean. And I'll tell you something, Jonathan McLean deserves a lot more attention as a narrator. He is brilliant. He is very good at comic acting. He's great at keeping the flow going. And you know, he was a co-writer on this, and it's all first person. So very much like, first person is, to me, the easiest and most fun type of narration to do. But he does a great job of fleshing out this character and, you know, doing all the other character voices. But Meet Your Maker is very meta. It's like a lit RPG from a writer's perspective.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's fun. I'd recommend that one too.
Okay.
And Chrysalis is the other one that I'm still working on, which is the Reborn as a Monster Ant lit RPG, which it is infectious. It is infectiously optimistic, and it is the one audiobook series that I have the closest to finished hour ratio to narrating. Like I would say it's maybe 1.1 to 1.
Wow.
As far as how quickly I get through, because there's just so much energy with the character, and it just feels so natural for me. So
have you already released some in this series, and you're releasing more?
There's 6 or 7 books in the series right now. Yeah, there's quite a bit to go as well.
Ooh, I like infectiously optimistic. As much as I like twisted and raunchy,
Yeah.
I was like, there's some things that like my mommy heart just can't handle these days, which is really sad. So,
7 books so far.
okay,
7 books
Chrysalis.
so far. Yep.
I was like, that sounds like the one for me. I like that question because
And you get Annie. You get Annie in this as well.
Oh,
Annie plays all the
nice.
female characters, which means she plays all the ants besides the main character.
Yeah, that sounds like fun. Okay, I would love to hear Annie, especially after your recommendation. Okay, there's one last one. Do you keep a sound library for character voices for reference? And if so, do you have a universal phrase you use across all of the characters in order to catch the accent and dialect you give them? Or is there like...
Not so much.
Okay.
Now, once I hit book 7 of Dungeon Crawler Carl, I recognized, I need it.
Okay,
Right.
yeah.
So one thing I did with book 7 is I gave literally every single character their own track. And that is
Whoa.
because whenever I switch tracks to play that character, that means that the character voices I do are labeled
Yeah.
for that character. So now I can go back to book 7 and hear every single line from every single character. And they're all neatly organized automatically just because I did that process.
So if you're doing like a read through and you're not separating it out character by character, does that mean that your editors are essentially going back and then splitting them and hitting the different tracks? Or is that something you're doing actually in the recording process?
That's what I'm doing in the recording process. I switch tracks while I'm recording.
That is so time involved.
No. I think that's actually what made me, one of the things that made me good at switching so quickly between characters, because it's like I've set up this method that like creates an extra mental switch there, because every time I'm changing characters, I'm pushing a button to change the track.
Dude, that's awesome.
And like the great thing is I'm using Ableton, which has this great hotkey or short key system where you can just like hit Command K, and virtually every button on the interface, you can click on it and assign a key to it. So all the arming buttons on all the tracks have a button associated with it.
And you've literally created a physical switch for yourself other than just here. That's actually brilliant.
Yeah. And it's not like I did that on purpose, right?
Needed.
Like I thought that's just how you were supposed to do it. And then when I started telling narrators, that's what I do, they're like, really? I'm like, I mean, how else do you EQ your characters differently? They're like, you EQ your characters differently?
Yeah.
So
it's like your characters are each a different part of an orchestra.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Kind of. Yeah.
That's really amazing, man. Okay, I love that. Okay, final question is from Kirk. He wanted to know, when you come to Tucson, what meal would you like for him to make?
Okay. Something, I don't know. Something that should remind me of the region. Some Southwest kind of dish. I don't know.
You sure about that? Because
yeah, absolutely. I every time I go somewhere new, I want as much of the authentic experience as possible. I want it to, so much of our world is corporatized and, cookie cutter now. It's very easy to have the same experience going from one place to another.
It's funny.
And I'd prefer to get more of the local flavor.
Yeah, I get that, and that's something that we're really trying to replicate in our travels as well as local flavor. But the Sonoran cuisine, I feel that there's a few different things that it does really well. But it's essentially like it's combining Arizona and Mexico, right? It's a Sonoran desert, which is it can be very good, very spicy. But the one restaurant that actually does it absolutely amazing is called Ursa, and it's going to go out of business really soon. I saw that they're doing some closing deals in the next couple months. They had
Ursa,
this
like bear?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Hey, Latin. And they have this amazing like prefix menu that is all inspired by things you find wild in the desert here. I don't know if it's the most delicious food I've ever had. Okay, just like a lot of cactuses, which, however, it is some of the most creative food I've ever had. Things like having a bird's feather instead of a toothpick to serve something on, right? It was, I'd never had food like it ever before. So I wish, if you're in town in the next couple months, then I would say like that's worth seeing before it's gone. But Kirk is also just an absolutely extraordinary cook. So he'll probably make you some incredible burrito, and you'll never feel like burritos were ever as good, and they'll be ruined for you the rest of your life.
I'm totally down. A burrito sounds perfect.
Perfect. Okay. With that being said, I'm so grateful for all of your time. I know we went over a little bit. I still have so much I want to learn about what you're doing.
Fun, so it's not a problem.
Thank
I'm a fan
you.
of yours too, so I'm excited. Don't worry.
Thank you very, very much. And word to everyone out here to support Jeff, go to Sound Booth Theater, soundbooth.app is really where we want to go, and check out some of the awesome audiobooks and performances that he's recommended here. I know I'm going to be checking out Chrysalis. I think that's going to be really a ton of fun.
Chrysalis is on Audible.
It's on Audible. Okay.
The stuff that we do, like lots of sound effects and full production for, is on soundbooth.app. But we are going more and more non-exclusive on Audible, and we'll be bringing more and more of our stuff over to the Soundbooth app as well.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah. So the more things you get on Soundbooth, the better you're supporting the company.
Yes.
Yeah.
Note to everyone, go directly to Soundbooth if you can.
Yep.
Thank you so much. And thank you for making the many, many, mostly sleepless nights really really kind of awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And I'm so happy to be there with you.
Cheers.
Cheers. I'm empty, but cheers.